Climbers, we all know that one of your biggest cash registers as an indie artist is merch sales at a live show. If merch is your biggest moneymaker and your merch game isn't on point, you're losing money, period. So today we're going to discuss 15 merch table tips that will make you more money.
Love it.
Welcome to the climb! This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business, because leverage is the new music business. You got to have it to work with the people that you want to work with. It's not going to be about your talent at first. It's going to be about, can you make the needle move yet? And that's what they're interested in. So you know what? We created this show to help share everything that we learn and everything that we've encountered to help you get ahead. And that's why we called it the climb, creating leverage in the music business. That's a backtronym from my good friend and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter, who is an awesome friend, a good Christian, an incredible father, incredible husband, and also a freaking hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady A, Joe Nichols, and more. And Brent helps songwriters like you become professional by revealing how you write like a pro, do business like a pro, and then on the regular, he connects you to the pros. Relationships are everything in every business, not just this business. And Brent makes sure that happens for you. You can find Brent very easily at songwritingpro.com.
And I would like to introduce you to my friend and co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny is not only a good friend, he is also an exuberant pontificator. I don't know if you can put that on your t-shirt. Exuberant pontificator. It's like a bad wrestling name. Lord of the Ring from Parts Unknown. The exuberant pontificator. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They're breaking artists digitally by identifying new fans through data. If you're an artist looking to increase your streams, to blow up your video views, sell more live show tickets, and get discovered by new fans, TV, and music industry pros, then Daredevil Production can help. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andrew Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That is production singular, no S, and there's no S because there is no other Johnny D. What's up, brother?
Oh my gosh, all kinds of stuff. We are friggin' slammed, but it's good.
I know the feeling, man. Trying to
releases. The Dirty Names boys are dropping releases.
Cool.
Job starts on May 10th. The wheels are turning on that. So
on the Josh stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because I'm going to go right with him on May 1st.
I know. I'm so excited.
Well,
and he's going to be, dude, I'm just forewarned. Is foretold is forewarned. Like in the 2 weeks prior to you getting out there, he's got 12 shows in 13 days.
Well, good. He'll know what he needs.
Yeah, he will. So he's like, he's going to be wiped out, but that'll be a good thing.
That's all right. Jamie Grooms and I are just there to, make him go yes or no.
I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, man.
Well, you know what? A thought about this for writing for an artist, as a little sidebar, is since he's young in his career and he's not doing all originals at this point, I'm sure he's doing many covers. He doesn't have that many originals at this point. Going, okay, what covers are you doing? Okay, what vibe is that? How can we replace that in your show?
I like that.
Not to cop that song, not to steal the song, whatever. Oh, you do Two of a Kind working on a Full House. Okay, well, let's write Three of a Kind working on a whatever. No, but like that energy, that vibe, that spot, let's target that spot and see if we can take that spot with something.
Yeah, see if we can do a real estate swap.
Exactly.
Out with the cover and in with the original. That's just as cool.
That is not as well known, doesn't have the history, right? But, brilliant. So it needs to be great. But if if you like that energy there, let's see if we can target that spot. Something to think about, songwriters.
No, I love that. So today we're going to talk about some merch table tips, man. I got 15 of them.
Woo!
Dang. And I think that, sometimes merch table for us was the difference between getting to the next town or not, Sometimes it's like life mission critical, live or die, eat or don't eat. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, let's just be honest, it's commerce, and you want to be a student of the game at commerce. It's hard enough to get momentum going in this business with your music
Mhm.
But if you are an indie artist that's playing out, then you've got momentum and you've got merch sales already. So, boy, you better be a student of that game, right? So
Yeah.
that's what today's show's about. So I think
I'm
that's
all
gonna be good.
about it.
But before we do that, let's take care of some business. Join the Climb community on Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/ the Climb community. You have to ask to be let in. We let everybody in. We're inclusive
Mhm.
until you become a jerk, and then we're exclusive.
Right. We're inclusive until you become repulsive.
Yeah, and then we're exclusive.
Right.
Or until you become impulsive, and then we're
Right.
exclusive, So, but hey, and this the feed is for everybody. But any kind of like humor, entertainment, um, knowledge that good articles and stuff like that. That's what belongs in the feed, right? But your music, your story, your stuff that belongs in the posts that we provide every single week. We want to hear it, but put it in the right place. So we've got we've got New Music Monday. We've got tell us about your gig on Thursday. What's that officially called on Thursday? It's the Gig
The
Alert.
gig alert.
The
Mhm.
Gig Alert, and then Wednesday wins. So let's
That's
let's
right.
go over some Wednesday wins.
That's right. Every Wednesday we post the new heights segment because we're climbing new heights, all that good stuff. And there are more, and this is where we invite you and encourage you to share your wins so that we can celebrate with you. It's a good time to toot your own horn because you're doing it by request. Okay. You can go, oh, well, since you asked, here's this
Yeah,
awesome thing I have going on. And
that's
it's
right.
also where a lot of the camaraderie is built in the community. I'm looking at it right now, and we have, well, last week we mentioned one from Brad Hacker, and you got,
Mhm.
Carrie Latham posting in on there going, hey, so cool, and talking good about his co-writer, Karen Fraden, on there. It's like, she's the bomb, and they're building community here. And this is what this is about. So
Yeah.
it's a good way to, even if you don't have a win that you feel like sharing, go comment on other people's and congratulate them. That's always a welcome a value add.
What
Okay.
a
Little pro
perfect
tip.
way to walk into the Climb community and announce your presence with authority.
Yes.
And start commenting on all these posts that other people are commenting on, and start meeting some of these people and in the community and talking to them that way instead of coming in and trying to sell us. What was the last idiots try to sell us siding or something like that? I can't remember
So
what the F that was.
you need to add the plea to comment. You add plea to comment, it becomes compliment.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's a good way to announce yourself, and people automatically like you when you're saying good things to them.
And then you're
So
adding value right from the get go.
exactly. All right. Speaking of Carrie Latham, she posted on here. She has a win. It says a publisher paired me with a staff writer after hearing my songs, and the pairing
Hello.
was golden. 2 sessions, and we love our new song. So thankful. So congrats, Carrie
Yeah,
Latham.
good
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah, nice.
Yes, climber Marvin Adcock says Broken Bow Records took a song this week to consider for one of their artists. The artist is an outstanding singer-songwriter, so I really appreciate that they were even considering my song. And of course, Will Gunnell is like fire.
Yeah,
So
that's first of all, for those of you who aren't aware, Broken Bow is the house that Jason Aldean built. Okay,
yes, and oh, the other guy, Jelly Roll, is on
you might
there.
have heard of him.
Just whatever, whatever. Yeah.
Who's now on Warner, right? Or is Broken Bow a subsidiary of Warner now?
No, it's part of like BMG now. It's not part of Warner Brothers. I don't think
Okay,
it's part of like under the big BMG thing.
but Jelly Roll's Warner now, isn't he?
Is he now? I thought he was Broken Bow.
I think he's a Warner now, so
I'll
he
have
might
to
have
look it
moved.
up. So anyway, up next we have climber Jay Stott, who we talked about last episode.
Uh-huh.
He says, I'm a finalist with one of my songs at the songwriter competition at Red Lodge Songwriters Festival in Montana in June. So congrats, Jay, on being a finalist. Hope you pull out the win there. That's awesome. Heard a little bit about Red Lodge. It sounds fun. I'd like to go to Montana sometime.
Yes.
And that's all we have time for right now. But there are others, so you got to go check out. There's many others. You got to go
Well,
check out
there
the
you
climb
go.
community
There you
to see and
go.
be a part of things.
Yes, and make sure that you follow the podcast,
Yeah.
whatever platform you're on, so that you get all the episodes in. You can cherry pick which ones speak to you to be sure, but you want to make sure that you see them all so you can cherry pick the best ones and make sure that happens. And then tell a friend about it. That's the biggest thing. Let other people know that
Yeah,
this is going on. Bring them into our house. We want
that's
to, we
right.
want to, we want to help them too. All right.
All right, what
So
do we got going on today? 15
let's get
merch,
in with
table
this.
tips.
I go to a lot of live shows
Yeah, you do,
and
dude.
I'm always shocked at how bad some artists are at the merch game. You know, I'm just like, wow, like I know at this level, you know, because I'll go to a lot of indie artist shows and stuff like that. I know at this level, like this is their number one moneymaker. You know,
Mhm,
it's huge, and for them to be approaching it the way they are, I just don't think they're aware that that they're leaving money on the table, that they're losing money,
mhm.
right? So let's talk about it. Well, these are 15 points. We got to go fast because there's a lot of them.
Okay.
Number one, and this may sound like crazy, but staff it.
Have somebody there?
Have somebody at the friggin' merch table to take some money and sell some merch, right?
Mhm,
Who is it that's doing this for you? Somebody on your team needs to be there to make that happen. That's just it's mission critical.
mhm.
Nobody's going to go up and buy a T-shirt from you if nobody's there. So,
If nobody's
how many
selling it, they
times have
can't
you
buy
been
it.
to a show where you've seen an unstaffed merch table and you're like, where are they? Oh,
Mhm.
they're out back smoking a cigarette, having a cocktail, engaging with people. Like the merch booth is your primary cash register. It's somebody's job to be there. Whose freaking job is it?
Yeah.
And make sure they're there, okay?
Yes.
I mean, that's just business. It's like you don't get a job at McDonald's working the fry line and then you're out back smoking a cigarette, having a cocktail,
Right.
and networking with people. No, you get fired for that. You get fired on the merch booth if you're not manning that. And I got so many stories about this that
That'd
just
have to
piss
be
me
bonus
off.
content. We got
I'm
15
not even
points
gonna,
to get through.
yeah, I'm not even gonna get on there, but all right, number 2, be approachable, right? You must be
Yes.
approachable. They're there to sell merch. You can't be on the phone if
Mhm,
you're manning the merch booth or reading or doing
mhm.
something else, right? You want to be approachable. I mean, so in this
So this is
situation,
for the person working the booth.
this is for the person working the merch booth. Yeah.
Mhm,
So in this situation, it's funny. Like we just had a couple weeks ago, we just had another Belmont internship fair. So twice a year, once in April, once in October, they have an internship fair for 2 hours, right? Like all these businesses, I mean,
mhm.
Sony and Broken Bow and all the labels and all the publishing companies and everybody's there who works with interns, management, huge management companies like Red Light and all this stuff, 30 Tigers and they have interns and they're all there. And from my sales experience in like the electronics industry, it, y'all, like people suck at this. Like they spend boatloads of money to go to a trade show,
Mhm.
and then what they do is they're sitting behind that table or behind that booth, and people come walking by that are their potential customers, and they just kind of like rock up on their tippy toes and raise their eyebrows, like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they got
Yeah,
candy out, and they got different things to try to get you over, but nothing is better than a "Hey, man, how you doing?" You know,
yeah.
like and call them over. And so the last 2 weeks, Brent,
You know
I mean,
why it's
I
bad? 'Cause
what's that?
you know why it's bad? 'Cause they don't
What?
wanna be there.
Yeah.
They hate their
Yeah.
jobs, and they're like, "I gotta man this dumb booth, and I just
They
really
don't
want it to
wanna
be
be
over."
there. Yes. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's just so ridiculous. And so, I mean, I wanna be at that Belmont internship fair because I want
Mm.
some great interns. And so our
Yes.
goal is to get like we regularly will get between 40 and 70 resumes in 2
Mhm.
hours, you know?
Love it.
Of that, we're gonna go back. And why? Because and then I'll have interns with me, right, that are like interns like for that semester, and I'll be like,
Mm.
"Look, here's the deal. This is not like this is aggressive, you know? Like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Nice hat. What kind of internship are you looking for? Like, they're there. It's an internship fair. Ask them what
Yeah.
they're looking for. You know,
But
like
that doesn't feel famous, Johnny.
yeah, I don't care. Like, you know what? I get great interns all the time, and I get to choose who I want and what I want.
There
So,
you go.
be approachable and be, and talk to people, right?
Mhm.
And do not be on the phone, and do not be reading, and do not be ignoring people. Like, you need to be there and talking to people.
Amen.
You'd be amazed at how much a conversation will turn into a couple T-shirt sales. So,
Yeah.
um, number 3, have a float, right? Plenty of change for transactions
Mm.
at least 25 to $30 worth. You want to keep that float, your change money separate from the band money, separate from your revenue,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
You're
You don't want to
always
get
got Go ahead.
Oh, I'd say you just don't want to, commingle those funds. You want that to be clear that that $30 that you came in with is not profit from the night. You brought that with you.
Yeah, exactly, and also, so it's there for the next night. You know what I
Right,
mean?
that too.
You just did that's always separate. So, um, and make sure that your staff, whoever is manning the merch booth, has complete access to the PayPal account
Mhm,
via the phone that they're using, so it speeds transactions up. If they're always having to log in and,
mhm,
get your one of the band members login information or whatever, it doesn't work, right? It
right.
just it makes it, because a lot of times you'll have a run. If we're going to get to this later on in the show, but if you're having a run there, if there's a lot of people there, man, you want those transactions to go fast
Yes.
and move down the line. And when you slow it up, some people are going to change their mind and go get a cocktail and think they're going to come back, and then they don't.
Yep.
So it's about making hay while the sun is shining, and speed is everything.
Mhm.
On that note, the last thing about having that float is make sure the phone is charged, right? Or you have one of those magnetic backup battery phones, or
Mhm.
a backup battery case. That phone, to take money, always has to be charged, or you're not taking money, right?
Right.
Um, second,
Proper planning.
right. Second, get a tablecloth. Get a
Mm.
nice tablecloth. Some of it now, when I do the internship fair, so basically it's like a merch table, right? I got a table
Yeah.
there, and I'm behind it. I'm not selling anything, but I'm selling myself, and I want interns, right?
Yeah.
I'll bring the Climb Daredevil like backdrop.
Yeah,
That's
because it
my
says
tablecloth that I put
Daredevil
on,
all over it. Yeah.
so they can see the logo. But any tablecloth will work. Like if you have like a crushed velvet tablecloth, something like that would be really nice.
Mhm.
Um, because a lot of the tables that the club is going to provide you is going to be disgusting and gross, and you want it to look appealing. You want it to look nice.
Yeah.
Pro tip here, okay? Buy an overly large tablecloth. So if the attendant does have to run off to go to the bathroom or whatever, they can use the excess tablecloth to cover up the merch.
Oh, there you go.
All right, pretty smart.
That is nice pro tip.
And then, a little bit more on the space there. Buy some battery powered lights to kind of spice up that merch space and to draw attention to it. A little presentation goes a long way, but a lot of times you're not going to be in a great place.
Right.
Um, in terms of, you're going to be in a back, dingy, disgusting corner of the club, and there's not
Right.
going to be a big light or a big neon finger pointing to the merch booth.
Right.
So you want to draw attention to that. So some battery powered lights that don't rely on a plug and outlet.
Mhm.
That's a good way to go. Number 5, label everything.
Mhm.
Okay, this has got as much to do with speed as it does common sense. I mean, the more you inform people about the pricing, the
Mhm.
less work the attendant has to do, right?
They don't have to
There's
answer
not
those questions.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a long line of people that wanna buy shirts, and everybody's like, "How much are the shirts?
Right.
And what is this one compared to this one?" And they're not sure, and so you're answering that, and what are you not doing? Running a credit card, you
Right.
know? And then again, people are waiting in line too long. "Let's go get a cocktail, we'll come back." Okay, next
Yeah.
thing you know, they're gone.
I don't even know what this T-shirt costs. I'm not gonna stand in line just to ask the question.
Yeah, yeah, and so make sure that they understand that your transactions go quicker because you're not gonna have anybody behind your merch booth, answering pricing questions.
Yeah.
Number 6, this sort of touches on a little bit of number 4 before, but let there be light, right?
Mhm.
You're in a dark, nasty corner of the lot venue, so more than just like some battery powered lights are going to kind of spice up that table, right? Which is why I
Mhm.
put it under the tablecloth section there. But you're going to want, um, like some LED lights, right? Again, like a lamp.
Mhm.
But if you can get some LED, there's some LED lights that last for 20 to 40 minutes or something like that you can recharge or put batteries
Mhm.
in, and that'll really light up that space, so
Mhm.
that there's no need again for an outlet or an extension cord.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right?
But a sidebar about the dingy space, if you're I've been to some, like, Southern gospel shows where the merch table is set up in the church lobby, so which
Oh
is a
yeah,
much nicer space, but
yeah,
all this stuff still applies,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And okay, so
So
when
don't
you
think
go to
this is
that,
only for bar gigs, only for whatever. This works in all kinds of contexts.
right, and typically with the gig that you're talking about, right, is
Mhm.
there one artist?
I mean, some of the ones I've been to, one artist, or you may have two artists that are on the table, that
Okay.
have been on the
So a
show,
lot of
done an
times there's
opener.
multiple artists, and so
Mhm.
guess what? Your merch booth is gonna stand out from the other artists that are
There we
phoning it
go.
in.
I'm
Hello.
just saying, even if you're not the even if you're not the headliner,
Yeah,
you can still make some money up.
this'll help.
Mhm.
Um, number 7, get a CD rack, right? Like a cardboard
Mhm.
CD rack where in one sort of footprint, you can stand up, like, let's say 4 or 6 different CDs, depending on how many
Mhm.
CDs you have, right?
Right.
So, number 1, you're displaying multiple CDs.
Mhm.
And number 2, it's a smaller footprint. Now, a lot of times you get
Going
that
up,
sweet. What's that?
building up. It's like a city.
Yeah, yeah, you're building up instead of across, and a lot of times you're only gonna get, like, X amount of space for a big national opener,
Mhm.
right? If they allow you to sell merch at all, you're gonna get a very limited amount of space, and you wanna get as much of your merch in there as possible. So a CD rack, cardboard, like, foldable CD rack makes a lot of sense to make that happen. Um, Number 8, display your T-shirts correctly.
Define correctly, please.
Okay, so if
Rubber
you have
banded. Rolled
if
and
they're all
rubber
like
banded.
yeah, I mean, if they're all, if they're you first of all, again, space matters, right? So how about
Mhm.
like you can get a very inexpensive sort of garment rack, right?
Mhm.
That's like uh, assembled and disassembled, right? Like a foldable garment
Mhm.
rack that can pop up out of a box, and then you can hang a bunch of stuff there so they can see it.
Yep.
And that takes up again a smaller footprint. It takes up less stuff. People can browse on their own. People like to browse.
Mhm.
Fold them up properly on the merch table so they're not, so they're all the same way. It's like, you walk into a clothing store, they're all folded a certain way and they're all faced the same way and they look nice and they look neat and it
Mhm.
looks cleaner.
Yep.
And that's what you want to have that. Even though you have clean shirts, if one's all like mangled up and wadded up on the top of the pile, it makes the shirts look dirty, right?
I mean,
Nobody
you
wants
wanna
them
make
dirty.
them feel like they're shopping at, I don't know, Macy's or Goodwill.
Exactly.
"There's our
Yeah.
T-shirt
Or,
bin. Go
or
digging through. Hope you don't get lice."
or you don't want them to feel like they're shopping out of your crappy ass bedroom. That's a mess.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is this dirty laundry or a brand new shirt? I don't know,
Right.
because sometimes you don't have the option to pin them up, like, behind the table, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, ideally, you wanna pin them up so you can see it. You can
Mhm.
see the designs and everything like that, but if you don't, then you need to take care and making sure they're folded properly on the merch table or
Mhm.
they're hanging up so people can see them and they can browse on their own.
Yeah.
Um, Number 9, T-shirt designs and sizes, okay? So, you're gonna start out with one design,
Mhm.
right? And what I'm gonna recommend just, as a moneymaker here is do a two-color shirt, instead of going extravagant on the colors because 3-color and up costs more.
More colors, more money.
More
More
colors,
cost.
more money, and since there's a certain sort of price that the market will allow for
Mhm.
a concert T-shirt, right? Or an artist T-shirt, you're going to make more of a margin on the two-color shirt.
Mhm.
So it's less expensive to purchase but you can sell it for the same price.
Right.
And so,
Yeah, people
just
don't expect it to be cheaper because 'cause they're 2 colors instead of 3. If it's
that's
cool,
exactly
it's
right.
cool.
That's exactly right. That's exactly the way that you would expect, the difference between a T-shirt and a hoodie. There's gonna be a price difference there, you
Yeah.
know?
Or
Uh
a 2 topping pizza versus a 3 topping. I expect the 3 topping will be more expensive, the 2 topping less expensive. T-shirt colors, not quite that way.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So now here's another pro tip. If you have multiple shirt designs, which
Mhm.
is awesome, by the way, arrange them by size,
Mm.
not by design. This way, if somebody says, I'd like design A in a large, do you have that? And you go to the large pile, but you're out of design A, you can easily offer right then and there another shirt. Hey, we're out of that one, but how about this one or this one?
Mhm.
But you're right there in the larges and you know what you have. So arrange them by size. And by
Well
the way, isn't that how
mhm.
clothing stores do it? When you
Yeah.
when you go in there, it's like, oh, here's the mediums, here's the smalls, here's the large. It's
Mhm.
like it's arranged by.
Well, and going back to the speed, if you're looking for it, it's a lot easier to go, here's the size of, here's a large stack, and I'm just looking for the design, which is a lot faster than digging through tags and trying to see where the XL versus the L versus the S versus the M is. It's just a lot
Yes,
faster to find the design than it is to read all the tags.
exactly right, exactly right. Now, again on
Especially
the
when it's
t-shirt,
dark.
what's
Yeah.
that?
Especially if it's dark.
Yeah, yeah.
Just making it
And
easier on
hopefully it's
ourselves.
not because you brought light,
Well,
but
true, but hey, if you're already
if your
making a
battery
mistake,
ran out and stuff happened.
yeah.
But the other thing I would recommend too is change your design with every new run of shirts. Only do one design per run of shirts and then it's over, and then change it so that every design is a limited edition. Okay.
Interesting.
So this creates a whole host of like sub ideas here. I mean, when you run out of that t-shirt design,
Mhm.
that's it, right? So if someone says they're going to come back later and buy it, oh, okay. Well, hey, I'm just going to get my friend. We're going to come back later and buy it. You can gently and sort of passively provide a little persuasion
Mhm.
through the scarcity and a little FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, by saying, oh, it's all good. But, listen, we only have a couple left in this size. So if you do like this design, you might want to grab it now because they don't make them they only make one run.
Yeah,
So it's up to you. It makes you feel better about buying that too, right? Not everybody's going to have that same shirt.
that's cool.
Because you don't buy it now, you're never going to get it again. We switch designs with every run. That's the kind of thing,
And
right?
and that promotes repeat business because if somebody's a super fan, they've been to your shows, they've already got your shirt. I already got your
Yep.
shirt. Oh, but here's a new
Yep.
one. I want this one.
And a lot of people are going to like, Janelle and I just went and saw, they
Kylie
were
Morgan?
at, what's that?
Was it Kylie Morgan?
No, well, we saw that, but before that, we saw the Nicotine Dolls,
Okay.
right?
Oh,
Great indie rock band. The singer, who's just friggin' phenomenal, was Janelle was on to them before he was on AGT, but he went on America's Got
mhm.
Talent, just blew everybody's mind. Like, he's just really
Yeah.
great. Killer rock band, and they played the basement, man. So my offices in Nashville, they played with the Basement OG, right?
Yeah.
And my offices in Nashville
Is in the
are
attic. Yeah.
yeah, we're on the 3rd floor, and so Janelle was so excited, and, I got tickets, and she was so
Mhm.
stoked, and I'm like, "You know what? Like, there's no dressing room in the basement." And
Oh, okay.
so this has kind of become a thing. It started with them, but now I've already done it for Adam Shainfeld, who's Tim McGraw's,
Guitar
guitar
player.
player, and him and his wife, Katie Cook, who's, CMT
Mhm.
personality. They have their own band, which is just amazing, and I did the same thing for him, and I just reached out like, "Hey, man, there's no dressing room there. If you guys want, you're welcome to use them. I have a writing room just
Mhm.
3 floors up from there. You're welcome to use it, no charge. Just let me know if you want to." And they're like, "Okay, we'll reach out to you." And sure shit they did. And, we're hanging out with the band. We got to know them. And here's the
At
thing.
providing value, buddy. I love it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And creating a relationship. And they were having a bad day. Their their
Mhm.
their transmission dropped that day in the van. It was just they're having a horrible day, And so they were
Yeah.
there, but they were really thankful to have that space.
Mhm.
And we went down, saw the show, and you know what? I didn't even really like the t-shirt design all that much. It was kind of too white, so
Mhm.
it's going to be a mess on me like too here shortly. But we bought 2 shirts. Why? Because we wanna support them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to your point, Brent, that's where I started with this is, like, yeah, we keep changing out the designs, then it's something new for them to buy that they can support you on, and it's they're never gonna say, "I've already got that," right?
Right.
That's the big thing there. So,
And part of
um
it, depending on where you are in your marketing and talking to your customers, that's why one of the advantages of people dropping releases instead of like, here's
mhm,
a new single or here's an album all at once, it keeps giving you something new to talk about. It's one more, hey, new t-shirt design. Hey, help us pick our next t-shirt design. By the way, we only have 10 of these t-shirts left. It's the end of the run. It's the last 10. Do you want it? They might be a little more expensive. We're
yep,
doing an auction. We're da-da-da-da. It just
yep.
opens up all these other lanes to talk to your people and sell things.
That's right. Just a little bit of salesmanship, guys. Not a lot. It's not an ugly word. It's about having value in your brand and understanding that and knowing that you're good. You're worth it. You're worth it.
Mhm.
That's what you got to know. You're worth it. So number 10, have a range of prices, right? With anything that you purchase, whether it's a car, right? There's price range for Bentleys and there's a price range for, you know, total shit boxes like are used, you know what I mean? Like, and there's they're in all these different markets, you
Mhm.
know? So you want to create that with multiple products on your merch table, right? Some people aren't going to be able to afford a t-shirt or a hoodie, but they want to buy something. They want to have
Yeah.
something. So if you have something less expensive, you still made a sale, right?
Right.
So, fridge magnets, stickers, which cost practically nothing to print up, but you could sell for $1. Keychains,
Mhm.
buttons. They're great low priced items that you can make money and margin on, that people will buy, and they also are good for bundles, which we're going to get to here in a second.
Well, and also those things probably don't take a whole lot of space
Exactly.
with decent margin.
Exactly right. And you can buy just a boatload of them for nothing, I
Mhm.
mean, for it's not as big of a investment as a bunch of hoodies or t-shirts.
Yeah.
And multiple CD releases, right? You can bargain basement price, like the oldest CD that you have that you're just trying to
Mhm.
get rid of some stock on.
Right.
And hey, man, at the end of the day, when you made your money back on the recording and you made your money back on the CD manufacturing and you still got product left over, God bless. If you sell that for $2,
You
you're
made
making $1
$2.
on it. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're making $1 on it. So having those different prices it's going to encourage more sales. So that brings us to number 11 here, which is, and we've said this a million times, create bundles.
Mhm.
Okay. So here's the reality and here's the hang up at the same time. 30% of your buyers are willing to pay more when they have their credit card out. They're already going to buy. They're going to be impulsive and get more if they can get a good discount, right? If there's
Mhm.
something there. So by the way, every time you've ever been to a Lowe's or a Home Depot or any friggin' grocery store, what are there? It's like right when you're waiting in line to pay and your credit card's out, there's a boatload of different products there for you to buy. Those are impulse sales.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why they're there. Otherwise, why would they have them? This is real psychology. Okay, so what that means is 30% of your buyers are willing to pay more. That means that 70%, or the vast majority of the buyers, which might include you,
Mhm.
are not impulsive or frivolous with their
Right.
spending. But don't leave that money on the table because you think everyone thinks like you. Well, I would never do that, so I'm not going to do that.
Mhm.
That's a foolish thought because now you're not considering your whole audience.
Yeah.
So the bundles are just about this. They're about getting a greater amount of revenue on a single sale. So don't get hung up on the margins,
Mhm.
right? And this is like a huge business mistake that I see. And I see this happen. I've managed a lot of sales guys in my time at different, in the mortgage industry, in the real estate industry, like in different industries, in electronics. And I'll tell you, this is like a regular sort of like not smart, unintelligent way of thinking. People worry about the percentage that they're getting paid as opposed to worried about how much they're getting paid.
Yeah.
Don't conflate a percentage with an amount.
Mhm.
Okay. So bundles are about getting a greater revenue, right? 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing,
Right, yeah.
right?
Which is
So
why I co-write, by the way.
there you go. That's right. So think of it like this. Here's something non-music related, right? When Dell Computers sells $1,000 computer on their website, they get $1,000 for the computer, 100% of the revenue for their widget, right?
Mhm.
When they sell $1,000 computer at Best Buy, Dell Computer only gets 500 of that. They get 50% of the revenue, but they have a larger volume of sales. So that larger amount of cash and revenue makes up for the discount that they have to give to sell it through distribution.
Mhm.
Okay. So here's what I say to you guys: discount away, have fun. Like, don't make, you want to make a profit on everything, but provide a decent discount on the bundle to move more product and make more money.
Right.
Okay. So let me give you just some real world numbers on this. If you sell a t-shirt for $20, and let's say that costs you $6 to $8, you have $20 in gross revenue and you have a profit of $12 to $14. Makes sense, right? If you sell a hoodie for $40, and let's say that costs you $17 to make that hoodie, you've made a gross sale of $40 with a profit of $23.
Mm-hmm.
You sell a CD for $10 that cost you $1 to manufacture and ship. It makes a gross sale of $10 with a profit of $9, right? Those are
Mm-hmm.
nice margins, okay? And an old CD that you're willing to sell at a bargain basement price, like we talked about before, is just a fantastic way to add value to a bundle and actually get a better profit
Mm-hmm.
on a bundle than you would selling that old CD by itself,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
right? If you think about it that way, because that's a $10 CD included in that's a $10 value, right?
Right.
So if you sell a hoodie, a T-shirt, and a CD bundle valued at $70,
Mm-hmm.
right? So $20 for the CD, 40 for the hoodie, that's 60 plus one CD, that's 10. It's a $70 value, but you sell it for $55. You have a $55 gross sale, which
Mm-hmm.
right off the bat on that bundle is 37.5% more dollars, more gross revenue than your most expensive single product, which is the hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's assuming that they would buy a single product would be the most expensive one and not just the CD.
Yeah.
And then that number just gets, so that's the least amount of more money that you made. It's the least amount of increase in revenue.
Yeah.
And if you have a $29 to $31 of profit, that's 26% to 34.7% more profit than your most expensive product with the highest margin, even though you gave a discount.
So what you do is you need to just look at your bundle in a way as a product, and go, how
Yeah.
much am I making on this product?
Yeah. And you
Not how
can't
much
get
what
married
I'm
to it.
not how much would I make if they bought the 3 things that make up this bundle separately. Yeah, I'd make more money. But you know what? They're probably not. So, or that's going to be a small percentage. So just look at it as a competing product with your other products, a product. This is my most lucrative product.
Yeah. For
Make
spending more money with me, I'm going to meet you halfway and give you some
Mhm.
back.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's amazing ways to sell that too. So I mean, if you're, if $55, right, that's a $15 discount in total dollars.
Mhm.
So, you could say, hey, this is worth $70, but I'm going to take $15 off this hoodie if you buy a bundle,
Yeah.
right? So instead of a $40 hoodie, it's a $25 hoodie. Wow,
Mhm.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Or if it's a $10 discount, it's like, hey, buy all this stuff together, we throw the CD in for free.
Yeah.
Different ways to just kind of spin this a shell game in psychology, but they're all true,
Yeah.
right? It's all true. That would be something like, that's a red car. No, that's really a mixture of what blue and yellow. Or no, that blue and yellow
No.
is green. It's a green car. No, it's a mixture of blue and yellow.
No.
Well, both are true, right?
It's a blue,
um,
you're buying a blue car, but we're throwing in the yellow for free.
there you go. Yeah. Now, also, here's one more thing. Um, when somebody's wearing that shirt around or that hoodie around, you're getting exposure all the time
Yep.
on your
Mhm.
brand, right? So in a bundle, if you sold them a hoodie, a T-shirt, and the CD, you've like doubled your brand exposure for that same person, and you made more gross revenue, and you made more profit.
That's right.
And that person is happy. Why? Because I got a steal. I got all this stuff for less.
Mhm.
It just makes sense. Next, number 12, have a mailing list sign up form over there,
Mhm.
or some way to attract, to get that mailing list, right? I'm a big fan of like squeeze pages
Mhm.
or text capture, right? There's a great company called Call Loop. I'm not shilling for them, but there's several companies that compete with them. But Call Loop is a company. I think it's like 10 or $15 a month, and you can get a keyword that you own, like let's say Brent. So it's
Mhm.
like Brent's my keyword, and you're gonna dial 1-866 555-1212 and text the word Brent to it, and everybody gets a free download, and you get the device ID, right?
Mhm.
Or you can have a computer open at right there at the table, and it's like, hey, we all, I tell you what, on all these sales, like we're also going to throw in a free download of a special track that's not for sale here, that will never be for sale. You can only get it from this registration page. Just go right here. You have it pulled up, and they go in and put their name. Just tell us where to
Mhm.
send it.
Yep.
and then you get that email in exchange for that free download. You can also do it with the QR code these
Mhm.
days, which is probably maybe even easier. Um, and you know what? I mean, you can also offer to help the, the environment and email the receipts to them,
Yeah.
which of course requires them to give you their email, so you don't have to give them the paper receipt. I mean, come on, play along, play
Yeah.
along.
Save save the planet and my
That's
career.
right. Save
Yes.
the planet. Let us email the receipt to you. Oh, sure, of course.
Yes.
And then, better that way if it's, through text or through that registration page, have something on there, but it's just better than trying to decipher someone's freaking handwriting, um,
Yes. Yes. I've run into
after
that.
that. And so,
Mhm.
um, so, um, beer-free merch table number 13, right? No drinks on
Mm.
the merch table, like you wouldn't have any drinks on your console in the studio.
Right.
For the same reason, right? One $8 cocktail will ruin a whole bunch of merch, man.
Yeah.
And you don't wanna run that merch through the wash and then put it back out again and try to sell it as new.
Yeah.
Just keep people away with the drinks away, just make sure you have that. Um, Number 14, this is the difference between I mean, this is one of the major cogs in the difference that, um between on Taylor Swift's first tour with Brad Paisley, her merch sales went up 600%.
Okay, good. This whole episode, I've been waiting for you to get to this story. So I didn't wanna step on your thunder. I didn't wanna, mention it prematurely. I was gonna let the game come to me, but go ahead. We're waiting on this.
Well, it's a CTA for the merch table, a call to action for the
Mhm.
merch table, right? You have to let them know that there's one available. You point to it from the stage because when you're on stage, you're the most famous person in the room
Mhm.
at that moment. And here's a great line. Like, remember this line. Like, I remember our friends from the Crashers, right? Who are
Mhm.
Louisville's like number one local band. I mean, these guys, I just talked to Mark the other day, dude. They grossed 540 grand. I'm sorry, 560 grand last year.
Whew.
560 grand. And it's a side project. They all have families, they all have their own businesses, and they do this stuff on the side.
I hate that
But they're
for 'em.
masters of the game. And their
Yeah.
merch sales went through the roof when they did this. Hey, if you'd like to get to know us, we'd love to get to know you after the show. We're going to be right over there by the merch table, and you point, show them where it is. Um, and then after the show, you get everybody over there.
Heck
Now,
yeah.
when that happens, right?
Mhm.
Uh, it also draws a crowd over at the merch table.
Oh, yeah.
And one of my favorite P.T. Barnum quotes from Barnum and Bailey Circus, "Nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd."
Well,
So
that
when
and
everybody's over there.
if you're talking to and I because I felt this, right? If you're going up to the artist at the merch table, you feel weird not buying something. If you just go to chit chat and just walk off without buying something, I
Yeah,
feel weird. I feel weird. I
yep,
wanna talk to them. I mean, I've done that even, like, say, there been some Southern gospel shows around here, so I talk about the merch table out in the lobby, and I wanna go talk to this person because I wanna pitch them some songs or I wanna write with them or whatever, so I'm waiting until after the show to go over and introduce myself, do the whole, hobnobbing thing. I gotta buy something.
yep.
I gotta buy something. Why? Because I'm helping support them right then. I'm adding value before I even really get into business. So it's an investment. And so, hey, some of the stuff I like and I buy and I whatever and I wear, whatever. But still, there's that thing too. If it feels kind of weird to walk up and talk to them at the merch table, it's a big elephant in the room and you don't buy something. That's weird. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and so, kinda catapulting off that right there,
Hmm.
um, number 15 is meet and greet, right?
There we
Is
go.
there a better fricking place to have a meet and greet before or after the show than over by the merch table?
If you don't, you're competing against the merch table and you're actively drawing people away. You're the people that are most into you away from your merch table.
Exactly. That's such a mistake, it's like going to a buffet and you've gotta walk 100 yards over there to get your plate and your fork and come over here and get the food. Like, what the
Right.
hell? You know what I mean? So, you know, meet and greets, that FaceTime, like you were talking about, that makes the fan feel valued,
Mhm.
right? And again, it draws a crowd.
Mhm.
And so, having the whole band over there or the artist over there. You mentioned, Janelle and I last Thursday night, we flew up to Chicago because Mackenzie O'Brien, who we've been working with, opened up for Kylie Morgan,
Mhm.
who also happens to be like one of Janelle's favorite artists, and now one of mine. Like I love her. Like Janelle turned me on to her, and she's doing really good. I think that was one of her very first headlining shows at
Mhm.
Carol's Pub up there. And you know what? Immediately after Kylie was done with her show, sold out show. And by the way, this venue, so cool, man. Like 220 capacity. It's just perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect for that level of artist, coming in there. Sounds great. She's right over by the merch table,
Mhm.
and meeting people, saying hi, and they're buying shirts and the whole thing. So that's that's a big deal. Don't undervalue that. So, a simple short conversation can convert the brokest fan into
Mhm.
purchasing some merch, Brent, just like you were saying, like
Yeah.
they feel obligated because it's like, oh, well, now I'm taking up your time. You can be talking to these other people who want to buy a shirt. I should buy a shirt too because I don't want to look like a schmuck,
Right, exactly, yeah.
and you value the time and you get a great shirt out of it.
Mhm.
So it's reciprocity. It really is. So that brings me just to the conclusions here, guys. I think some stuff on the side. Make sure you have plenty of Sharpies, right,
Mhm.
on that merch table because people are going to want you to sign albums, CDs. They're going to buy a $25 T-shirt and have you ruin it immediately with a Sharpie by signing it. Do
Yeah.
it, you know.
Heck yeah.
And depending on if you're in rock and roll, there's other things you can sign that are fun. It's but have a Sharpie and have plenty of them, right? Make sure you have those. I think from just a business standpoint, you want at least 100% markup on each product,
Mhm.
or up to what the market will allow. So for your CDs, y- you know, uh, if you not including the recording cost of it, but the
Right.
manufacturing cost, you're looking at a buck. But the market's going to allow $10 to $15 for that.
Mhm.
So know what the market is, and then make sure that you're up there, and uh, I don't think it's worth it to try to move any kind of product if you're gonna have less than 100% markup on it. So you want to make sure that's going to factor in on the markup of like how much you buy, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
uh, to get that margin down. Make sure that you got quality stuff, like quality shirts.
Mm.
There's nothing worse than getting like a concert T-shirt and having one wash and the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah.
And you're bummed because you're like really wanted to wear that shirt. I still wear concert T-shirts today.
Mhm.
I love them. So, Through the Loom and Gildan are like two really good companies that make really good quality T-shirts, and that just really comfortable, and they all different kinds of styles and stuff like that for men, women, long sleeve, short sleeve, whatever, and that they're going to last a while, and
Mhm.
you're going to feel good about charging that high price, the top price then. And plenty of gaff tape, duct tape. You're going to need that all the time, right? For
Just
for
everything.
for different stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say about that, guys. So man, make more money at your shows, work that merch booth, and work it hard. And you don't even have to sell anything. You just got to be there. You got to be
Mhm.
present. You got to have all these steps there and a couple keywords, and promise you're not going to feel like a salesman, and they're going to buy. They're
There you go.
absolutely going to buy, and they got to buy. Let's be honest. You got bills, you know?
There we go.
So, hey, I got a free download for you for listening all the way through. This is like a stout PDF that really sort of breaks down how broadcast used to work. And I'll be honest with you, in this broadcast part, when you read that, I'm not telling you something that you don't already know, but you haven't thought about it that way.
Mhm.
Okay. And when you revisit like how it really worked and how, artists really broke on radio and how broadcast worked and the psychology behind broadcast, you're just going to be shaking your head. Yes, of course, I already knew this. Like I behave like this. Yes. And then we juxtapose that and break down how digital works. It's different. And I think that so many artists and management and labels make, the big mistakes because they're trying to go with what they know, which is promote and sell and try to function on a digital platform as if it's a broadcast platform. But it gets confusing and it doesn't work. And so I think it gets people more confused when they try something and it doesn't. So this is going to eliminate the confusion. Okay, this is going to just break down everything and give you a very clear picture of what has to happen on digital. And it's all about creating traffic on digital. And so the name of this is whoever owns the traffic rules the road. It's a free PDF download. Just go to giftfromjohnny, JOHNNY, giftfromjohnny.com, and tell us where to send it. And that's it, guys. This podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top. And we'll see you at the merch table. We'd love to meet you.